I still wake up in cold sweats every now and then, my digital clock flashing 3:03 a.m. It's been years since we evacuated from that house on Blackwood Lane, but memories nag me like those. Creatures plague our backyard. I'll tell you the whole story of the story, which still makes my hands shake as I write this. July 15, 2012 was when I first realized something was off. I remember the date because it was Jake's 6th birthday. We had just moved into what we thought was our dream house, a snug colonial with a big backyard where Jake could play. That first scream at 3:03 a.m. jolted me awake. Mommy, the quiet boy is in my room again. As I burst in, Jake was huddled against the headboard of his bed, little fingers tightening around his blanket so much that his knuckles turned white. His big eyes were fixed on the far corner of the room where his toy box was sitting. "There isn't anyone there, darling," I told him, switching on the light. But even while I reassured him, I could feel how chilly his room was, a damp, unnatural chill that caused my breath to mist. The next morning, I checked out the nanny cam we had installed in Jake's bedroom. The clock read 3:02 a.m. when the temperature reading on the corner of the screen dropped 15 degrees. At 3:03, to the second, Jake sat up in his bed. That is where I saw it, a shadowy figure crawling out of the corner, its skeletal fingers reaching for my son. I nearly spilled my coffee. The video had it distinctly moving towards Jake's bed, but rewind the tape, and the figure simply wasn't there at all until that point in time. As if it had appeared out of thin air. Things proceeded from there. Our security cameras caught more silhouettes in the backyard, always at 3 and 4 a.m. A girl in a torn dress by the swing set. A boy with hollow eyes staring into our kitchen window. They never moved like real kids, their movements jerky, unnatural, like stop-motion animation. The worst night of all was 14 days afterward. I was sitting in front of the TV tape when I observed something that hardened my heart. In every recording, from the nursery cam, the back cam, or the front entrance cam at the exact same moment, 3:17 a.m., everybody had their gaze turned in one place, towards our old oak tree in the yard. That's when I decided to go in. I waited until 3:15 a.m., equipped with a flashlight and my phone recorder. The instant I went outside, my breath misted in the suddenly cold air. The beam of the flashlight trembled in my hand as I walked toward the oak tree. That's when I saw them. 7 small figures stood in a perfect circle around the tree. Their clothes were decades too out of date, maybe more. Their heads were bowed, but I could see their pale gray skin stretched too tightly over bony cheekbones. Then suddenly they raised their heads. I don't remember going back inside. I remember closing the door and knocking against it, my entire body trembling. Looking through my phone's camera, the last image had the 7 figures then facing at their mouths open in deathly cries. We learned the truth the next day from local history. Our property stood on the grounds of the old Blackwood orphanage grounds. 7 children disappeared from the orphanage in 1927 during that summer. Their bodies were later found buried in a circle around an oak tree, the oak tree standing behind our backyard. The 1927 police report also stated something chilling. All the children passed away at exactly 3:17 a.m. We moved that weekend, taking most of our stuff with us. The new residents called us a month later to ask why all of their electronic clocks reset at 3:17 a.m. every day. We said nothing. So if you're sitting here reading this and you wake up at exactly 3:03 a.m. for no reason, if your child is talking about the quiet boy, if the video on your backyard security is moving figures that do not exist there, run, because they recall the living, and they do not like us crossing over to their tomb.